As we mentioned earlier in the newscast, February is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. East Texas News Weekend's Avery Niles brings you more about the warning signs.
It's a confusing time under healthy circumstances.
1 in 3 U.S. teenagers will experience physical, sexual, or emotional abuse from someone they're in a relationship with before becoming an adult. Holly Bruce, the CEO of the Women's Center of East Texas, says this month is used to highlight what healthy versus unhealthy relationships look like.
Healthy and unhealthy relationships really lie on a spectrum, and so it can get really confusing when there are some behaviors that are unhealthy. So we always want to create awareness around that so that teenagers, the friends and the family members of teenagers, can help them recognize when there are unhealthy signs to a relationship.
Some unhealthy signs in a relationship are dishonesty, feeling pressure to do certain things, and only spending time with one another. Some signs of abuse in a relationship are communicating in a harmful or threatening way, isolation, and control. Jeremy Flowers with the East Texas Crisis Center says knowing the healthy signs in a relationship is important too.
There's good communication. Does it feel safe to be myself and honest? Does it feel safe to express my emotions, right? Do I get to have a life of my own outside the relationship? And the green flags are just as important to help someone identify whether or not they're in an abusive relationship.
Both the Women's Center of East Texas and East Texas Crisis Center offer services to teens experiencing violence, such as developing a safety plan for the individuals, counseling, and support groups. Nell Spencer, the director of programming at the Women's Center, says education is key to change.
And if you don't know the signs, if you don't know what a healthy relationship is, if you don't know what an unhealthy relationship looks like, then you're not going to be able to see the signs while it's happening or before it happens.
Avery Niles, East Texas News Weekend.
For local and national teen dating violence resources, scan your QR code on your screen or visit the big red box on our website.